recording the services, we use Studio One. This will probably be open because at the end of the services, we're automatically uploading the service recordings to Dropbox, and that takes a couple hours. So, but if you came in and this wasn't open, you would want to just pick the most recent template and open that. And there's two modes in this program. We're using them both. There's song mode, which is where we record the services. And then there's project mode, which is where we drag all the audio files and then upload them to Dropbox. This is a great program. And if this isn't open, you can open a separate project template and you would do the same thing here. Just open, and then on the 2 terabyte hard drive, there's this S1 project template that just pick the most current one of those two and open that. And the reason you would want to do that is because I have the multi-band limiters set up, and everything's pretty much set up for mastering these things to online digital release Dropbox. Go back and forth between song mode and project mode here. And this template is all set up for multi-track recording. So you can see that all of the tracks and their track names are right there. They're all in view there. The main mix and the one named Omar, which is the alternate mix for the service, for the sermon, are at the top. And when the sermon's happening, all we need to have in record are those two. We don't need to have everything else in record. But for the worship portion of the service, basically we would just have to put these all into record. So you'll select the kick track and then hold shift and click down on the leader track, and then all of those will be highlighted, and all you have to do is click the record icon on one of them and they all go into record. And to get into record, it's down here. That's the record icon. And you just click record. Once you're in record, make sure that the icon is red and that you're seeing the green audio regions printing. If you want to collapse this down so you can see more of the waveform at once, all you have to do is put your cursor in the screen and pinch. So you can pinch that down quite a bit so you can see, pretty much the whole service. But just make sure that that bright green audio waveform is continuing to be recorded. If you're not seeing the audio waveform being recorded, it's not being recorded. It might be out of view, but you just have to make sure you go find it. And then to stop recording, just hit the space bar and then you're set. This isn't recording, it's because the wrong input is selected. So just go to Studio One Preferences, and you need to be in the audio setup window. Recording needs to be set to SQ6, and that's down at the bottom of the list there. So if you wanted to listen to this recorder, you could go to playback device, set that to built-in output. And that would select the headphone output on the computer. Sometimes it's necessary to do that to check a recording, so this is the spot that you can get messed up. But you can set the recording device to SQ audio, and it'll keep the playback device as built-in output. There's not a problem with that, but usually when we set this, it's from the top one, and that just makes them both SQ audio. It doesn't really matter, but I keep it there. We always want to make sure that we have 96 kilohertz audio. Bit depth is 32-bit, floating point. Once that happens, everything should work fine. In a rare case, somebody might have changed the way the board is sending the USB to the computer. And where we would change that would be in the I/O page. The USB tab is probably going to be on the local or S-Link, but just go to the USB tab And that right there says SQ drive, but it needs to be on USB-B. If it's set to SQ drive, then it's sending the mix to the thumb drive output, which can also be hooked up to an external hard drive, but the thumb drive is in there right now because I just updated the firmware on the board. That's how you do that.